Hi, my name is Trevor Thomas. I'm one of the co-founders and partners at Ascent Employment Law. Today I'll be speaking to you about restrictive covenants. You might have heard about restrictive covenants before, but it might seem like a confusing, complex topic. I'm here to help shed some light on this topic. So let's start with a basic idea here. What are restrictive covenants? In its simplest form, a restrictive covenant is something in the employment contract that prevents you from doing something in the future. And there's two main types of restrictive covenants. The first is a non-solicitation clause. Non-solicitation means that you can't solicit clients, customers, contractors, or anyone that worked with the company that you previously worked with. I like to think of it as you can't steal something from someone. You can't steal their clients, you can't steal their customers, you can't steal their employees or contractors. The second type of restrictive covenant is called a non-competition clause. Non-competition clauses prevent you from competing in the future. Regardless of a non-solicitation clause or non-competition clause, we look at them in the same way when determining if they're valid and enforceable. A few of the factors that we look at to make that determination are, what is the length of the restriction? Usually a restrictive covenant will say something such as, you can't do this for a certain period of time, such as 6 or 12 months. So our first job is to figure out, is that restriction of time reasonable in the circumstances? The next thing that we look at is the geographic restriction. Some of these clauses will say that you can't compete within Vancouver. Some will say British Columbia. Some will say internationally. And it's our job to figure out if that restriction is reasonable. When it comes to non-competition clauses, we go another step further and we try to figure out if the restriction itself is reasonable. So that basically means, what are you being prevented from doing in the future? Are you being prevented from working in this industry generally? Or are you being prevented from doing a similar role in the future? So it's our job again to look at the details of what that restriction is and figure out if it's reasonable. Restrictive covenants can be challenging and confusing to understand. Sometimes there's ways around them, and that's what we're here to figure out and help you with. If you have any questions about restrictive covenants, which again include non-solicitation clauses and non-competition clauses, feel free to reach out to us.